Soltau. Back in the days when I was very young, I have a picture in my mind's eye, if you like, and watching my father take off his reading glasses, blow through his moustache, and lay down his book he was reading into his lap. It often seems to be Bronowski's The Ascent of Man or Leon Uris's Exodus. He told the story that after his rehabilitation, he says, I was on my way back to the regiment, and along the way we stopped at Soltau, and we stopped for something to eat on rising ground, and we were able to watch a British unit about 5 miles away mopping out some SS Hitler youth who were in a small wood. The British were using crocodile tanks with flamethrowers, and that really forced the Nazis out of the woods very quickly. There's a railway line nearby with some burnt old wagons on it. I went for a leak, and I had a look into one of them, and I saw a British sixpenny piece that used to exist in that time inside it. And then I saw a line of stakes going into the woods. Following them along, I came upon a big circle marked out in wooden stakes. It was about 10 yards across. The soil was fairly loose over the circle, and all of a sudden I noticed a boot with a foot inside it sticking out, and then another one, and then another. I yelled out to the others, and some of the others came over. Amongst one of them was a regimental sergeant major who was travelling with us. I told him about a sixpenny piece, and the RSM went on the wireless to the camp at Venlo, and a unit of the army detectives, if you like, called the SIB, caught up with us at the next place we stopped, and they took statements from us and promised to let us know what had become of it all. Later that day, we were told that bodies were German civilians who'd been shot by British planes on their way to a labour camp. But years later, I found out the difference. And that was that they were Jewish prisoners on their way from Belsen, and they were stopped in Soltau as a result of the British planes attacking them, who wouldn't have known it was, a train full of Jewish prisoners. And the prisoners who got away were hunted by the SS Hitler Youth Regiment with the help of several townsfolk, and 92 of them were shot dead. There were trials after the war, but they were all acquitted because there was no evidence. There is a monument there now. The Jewish monument of Soltau, Germany, is a poignant memorial honoring over 90 victims, mostly Jewish, hunted and murdered by Nazis and citizens in April 1945 after escaping from Bergen-Belsen. The monument's design is inspired by the Berlin's famous Holocaust memorial to remember that their suffering and hasty burials in the forest. I found this picture of young people just sort of jumping across the monuments, and I've seen other things like, and I'm sure you've seen them, of people standing in front of Auschwitz, sitting on the railway trains, standing under the sign, Arbeit macht frei, and all those things, and doing things that make people feel they're very sort of rude, or they're desecrating the monuments. Shahat Shapira, an Israeli German, had this to say about the way, though he thinks social media has spawned what some of us decide to think of as desecration of these monuments. And he says, I hear a lot of young people saying that they don't feel guilty and they don't want to feel guilty. And they shouldn't. It's not their fault and it's not their responsibility. But what is their responsibility? It's what's going on right now in the world. He goes on to say, I'm worried that younger people fail to understand the importance of these memorials. They're not there just from Jews or just from me or for victims. They are there for the people of today to give them a moral compass so that they don't again elect some guy with a Hitler haircut, because we can end up right where we were 80 years ago